I'm her husband.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ground beef, a staple of American fine dining. According to Beef to Live, the average American eats 65 pounds of beef per year. Consider this. The average life expectancy of a United States citizen is 78.69 years. Multiply that by 65 pounds of burger in a lifetime, and an individual consumes 5,114.85 pounds of beef in an entire lifetime. You know, that rule doesn't apply to everyone, considering my husband probably eats 3 times that, but that's the average. While so much beef is consumed, few know what occurs behind the scenes. Hi, my name is Morgan Smith, and the title of my speech today is Before the Feedlot, Behind the Scenes of the Beef Cattle Industry. So let's begin at the very beginning. Let's begin with the conception of a calf. Planning for the conception of a calf begins long before breeding season. Ranchers and cattlemen first purchase bulls that they believe will produce calves with quality birth weight and quality weaning weight. Ranchers and cattlemen also want to be sure to have an adequate number of bulls to ensure that all cows and heifers have the highest possible chance of being bred. According to an article produced by the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, the bull to cow ratio for young bulls is 1 to every 12 to 15 cows. For older bulls, the recommended bull to cow ratio is 1 to every 25 to 30 cows. Once breeding season arrives, the bulls are put out to pasture with the cows. The amount of times that the bulls remain in pasture varies from one rancher to the next, but the average time that the bulls are left with cows is 60 days. Ultimately, the thought to be contemplated in this instance is that the longer the bulls are out to pasture, the longer the calving season is. After the cows are bred, we now move on to the pregnancy of the cow. The pregnancy of a cow is very similar to that of a human. Gestation length varies from 279 to 287 days, or approximately 9 to 9.5 months. According to that same article by the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, cows carrying bull or male calves tend to have a longer gestation period compared to that of cows carrying heifer or female calves. Between 4 to 5 months after the bulls are put out into pasture, a trained professional arrives to preg check heifers and cows. According to a publication from extension.edu, a palpation can determine the breeding date quite accurately when done between 35 and 110 days of gestation. The pregnancy of a cow is quite amazing. According to Vitafirm, after just 24 hours of being bred, the fetus is a 2-celled embryo. After just another half of a day, it is already doubled, and the fetus is now a 4-celled embryo. On day 3, this has even doubled, and it is now an 8-celled embryo. On days 5 to 6, the embryo has entered into the uterus, and maternal recognition of the pregnancy then occurs between days 5 and 6. Now, to get into some of the fun things that occur during a cow's pregnancy, between days 20 and 22, a heartbeat is established, and by day 25, you can now detect limbs within the calf. Stages of pregnancy, according to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln article, are exemplified in this manner. At 2 months, the calf is the size of a mouse inside of its mother's womb. At 3, it is the size of a rat, and at 4 months, the size of a small cat. At 5 months, the calf is now the size of a large calf, and at 6 months, it is the size of a big old dog. The most important trimester of a cow's pregnancy is its last, as 75% of its total weight gain and growth takes place during this trimester. During this third trimester especially, the nutrition of a cow and a calf is greatly important. The nutrition of a herd is of the utmost importance before, during, and following a pregnancy. Cows are quite amazing when you begin to consider the idea that there are times that a cow is eating for three: herself, her live calf, and her calf in the womb. This simply exemplifies the importance of the nutrition of a cow. Inadequate nutrition will result in delayed rebreeding, later calving dates, and a decreased calf crop percentage. Interestingly enough, the body condition of a pre-calving cow will influence her post-calving feed needs as well as her rebreeding performance. Cows that are thin pre-calving require more feed to rebreed during calving. Cows in good body condition need to be maintained. Cows are also given salt and mineral to ensure that they are receiving the necessary nutrition so that they remain healthy. Aside from nutrition, ranchers, cattlemen, and cowboys maintain the health of the calf through vaccination. Throughout the entirety of a cow and a calf's life, it is very important to ensure that they are properly cared for and doctored to keep them from getting sick. According to an article from extension.edu, it is important to outline a vaccination program that will protect against serious illness and diseases. Calves are generally vaccinated when they are tagged, at their branding, as well as when they are preconditioned before they head off to the sale barn. As you can see, the cattle industry goes far beyond the simple package of hamburger found in the grocery store. The hamburger that is viewed as a staple of American dining begins long before even the feedlot. Ranchers, cattlemen, and cowboys work incredibly hard to put beef on the table. Cows require lots of care, as do their calves. The very process of raising beef cattle is extensive and involves hard labor and careful attention to detail. From the very conception of a calf to the moment they are shipped to the sale barn to be sold to the feedlot, there is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have been poured into the herd. So now you can fully enjoy your burger.